Hello, hello. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about two of the most popular lines of Leupold rifle scopes. There's a lot of confusion with them. What I want to talk about is the Mark line versus the VX line. Now, even within those two product categories, there's variations. So there's the VX5 HD, the VX6 HD, and even within that, there's now Gen 2 for the second generation of each of those designations. Meanwhile, on the Mark side, there's Mark 4 and there's Mark 5. So what I want to talk about, we'll talk about some of the variations within those families in a little bit, but I really want to talk about what those two families of rifle scopes represent to shooters, hunters, and just overall rifle enthusiasts. So the main difference, I would say, is the Mark series is typically configured more for competitive shooting, for more tactical applications versus the VX5. This is the VX5 HD. This is a 3 to 15 by 44, more configured for hunting situations. And we'll kind of skin that out just a little bit. But actually, we'll have this right here. Typically, the VX series are a second focal plane reticle. Lots of reticle choices within that family, but that's an important distinction. Second focal plane, typically capped turrets, although this new Gen 2 and some of the custom turret options have an exposed elevation turret. But you've got typically this is a 34 millimeter tube, at 30 to 34 millimeter tubes, somewhat more limited adjustment range. We'll talk more about that numerically in the text. Versus the Mark 5, this is built on either a 34 or a 35 millimeter tube. You get a lot more adjustment range, and these turrets typically have 3 revolutions of adjustment instead of 2 for the VX line. So you just have a whole lot more sort of range of adjustment. You've got more reticle choices, and importantly, these are in the first focal plane. So as you know, this is more of a tactical configuration. The reticle increases in scale with the magnification. So it's, the subtensions are always the same regardless of magnification, versus the second focal plane arrangement, where typically the configurations or the relationship between the bullet drop references are valid only at the highest magnification. So I just showed you two kind of bigger configurations, but this is actually pretty interesting to look at, I would say, peers right here. So this is the VX, make sure I got this right, VX6 HD, and this is a really cool LPVO rifle scope. This is a 1 to 6 by 24. It also has the new Gen 2 turrets. So this is actually a toolless removable turret. We'll show you in a second. Again, second focal plane, cool for anything from like AR carbine to a dangerous game rifle to even like a straight wall rifle carbine. Meanwhile, this is the Mark 4 HD. This one is a 1 to 4.5 by 24, and make sure I get it the right way. This one actually has a duplex reticle in the second plane, but that's kind of a rarity for the Mark series. But you can kind of see, looking just at the swelling of this erector system. So the erector system is everything that moves the reticle inside of the main tube. And one of the features about the Mark series that you don't see on the VX series is typically this main tube is blown out somewhat in order to incorporate a much larger degree of internal adjustment. So you can dial this to hell won't have it. With that 3 revolution adjustment range, they needed to add a little bit more interior geometry to enable that, versus the 2 revolution adjustment range of this. So in general, if you're shopping for a Leupold scope, just keep that in mind. Typically, the VX series is going to be configured more for hunters. The Mark series configured more for shooters and tactical, I would say competitive shooters, tactical applications. So in a nutshell, there you go. They're both excellent optics. They both have very good glass, very good coatings that enable, I'm just going to stop talking now.